Hi guys, welcome to my sports world. Once again, we are looking forward. It's Wednesday. We're looking forward to this week's game against the Chicago Bears. Now, what can we expect from this game? Well, I put in my thumbnail that it's a meaningless game, and that's the way I see it, just based on what's coming up in the near future and the games that we have left this season. If it goes the way I see it, we can end up at 7-10 at the best. That's the best we can hope for as a team right now. That will now take us to the playoffs. So, what will a win mean in this game, and what will a loss mean in this game? Well, let's look at what it means if we walk onto another loss. What will that mean for this team? It will mean that this team just confirms that we are no good, that this team is in disarray, that we are in total breakup mode, and that there is no hope. If we lose this game, then all hopes are gone. Okay, then and the little hope we had, the little tiny hope that we can sneak in and take a wild card place in the playoffs, is then gone. If we lose against the Bears, it's slam dunk. If we win, it stays just a marginal chance. Even if we win, there's no chance we're going to go to the playoffs. Forget about it. And I don't care if there is many games left, because we're not going to win most of them. Let me just quickly, before I go on to the game, we're playing the Bears, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Titans, the Texans, and the Rams. Out of that, I see us maybe winning against the Jaguars. I see us maybe winning against the Bengals, but that's a big if, maybe. I don't know, because the Bengals are right now way better than us. I see us having a fair chance of beating the Falcons, and I see us beating the Texans. The way I see the future here is, I see that we can win 3 games. We can win 3 games of the up for the rest of the season, and that is the Jaguars, the Falcons, and the Texans. Those are the 3 games I think we will win. The rest of them, no. That means we win those 3 games. That takes us to 5 wins and 12 losses. 5-12. No way in hell will we make the playoffs with 5-12. Oh man, that we are looking at the outlook of this season is just becoming worse and worse for each freaking play game that is being played. So, okay, let's look at the Bears, Chicago Bears. What can we expect from this game? Chicago Bears, I want to say they are kind of like the Colts. Not super great, not terrible. They're not the New York Jets terrible. They're not Falcons terrible. They're not Jaguars terrible. Right now, I think the Bears are sitting at 3-3. I think right now. I haven't looked at it, but I think my memory, if I just quickly glazed at the other day, and I think it said 3-3 for the Bears. So they're better than us right now. They're ranked better than us. So it's going to be a tight game. Even if it's a meaningless game for us, and it's not so much meaningless for them because of the division they're in. They can go up if they keep winning, and they can end up behind the Packers, and if they do good enough, because they're basically fighting against the South and the East here, and you have some teams that are not that great. So Chicago Bears have a chance of sneaking in and take a wild card place. So they're going to play their butts off and try and play lights out. They are not going to stick 2 thumbs in between, and they're going to give it all. So they're kind of like in there, that kind of like the same area as the Colts. Very dangerous team, because we might go into this team and go, it's the Bears. So what? We're going to win. It's the Bears. They have Matt Nagy as a coach. Yeah. We have Kyle Shanahan as a coach. Who's the worst? Take your pick. So it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, because I don't think either of the teams has like that edge on offense. This is going to be a game that comes down to what the defenses are doing. The Chicago defense is not that terrible. I want to say the defense of Chicago is maybe a little bit better, tiny little better than the Colts. But I think the Colts have some better offense than the Bears. So they kind of like equals each other on that field. But I think the defense here for the Chicago Bears is has a little bit more edge, a little bit more oomph to it than the Colts. Um, that is bad news for us. Really bad news because it seems like we can't score more than 10 between 10 and 17 points, but we know we can award any team 25, 30, 40 points, um it also comes down to what players can we dress up and play in this game. Can we play Trey Lance? Because if we play Jimmy Garoppolo again, he just gave the ball away 3 times in the last game against the Colts. If we play Jimmy Garoppolo, you know that statistically we're going to give the ball away at least 2 or 3 times. He was lucky that he didn't turn out to be a pick six at one point, but I think they went down and scored on that drive anyway. But yeah, if you play Jimmy Garoppolo, the game is already given. We're giving the game away to the Bears. With Lance, at least he gave us a little bit of a fighting chance and hope. So, prediction scoring wise and how the game will turn out, how it will progress, I see 2 teams that will try maybe, and I see 2 desperate teams. And when you're desperate, you make a lot of mistakes. Scoring prediction, I think it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think both teams will be under 20 points. I can see this going like 10-17, 10-14, 7-10, 7-14, 7-16, 7-17. Maybe at the most like 14-17 or 14-20. Maybe one team can score 21 points. 3 touchdowns. I don't think that's too out of the realm. So let's say 21 points as a max for either team. And I think that we will see that the gap, the winning team will probably win by like 3 to 5 points. That's how I see it. And this is a game where third down becomes very important. This is a game where each team, both teams, has to execute their third downs to perfection. And I think that both teams understand that. But I think that the coach that will, both Matt Nagy and Kyle Shanahan has moments where they do good things. But they also have many moments where they do questionable, head-scratching things. Who of the coaches are going to make the biggest mistake? That is also what it comes down to. Who's making the biggest mistakes on the sideline? Is Kyle Shanahan going to throw challenging flags again and waste timeouts for things that really shouldn't be challenged or can't be challenged? It's stupid mistakes like that. Is our defense going to give away PIs again? 90 to 100 yards of PIs? It is stuff like that. We have to eliminate mistakes. We have to eliminate penalties. We have to eliminate bad play calling and clock management. It is a game of many washouts. But at the end of the day, the team that makes the fewest mistakes, the fewest penalties, and doesn't screw up too much is the team that's going to win in this very close game. I'm going to say final score 49ers 13, Chicago Bears 21. I think the Bears will score 3 touchdowns. I think we will score 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. So 13-21, Bears win. If this was 2019, it would have been, we're going to beat the Bears. Last year, it was like, no, we're going to lose against the Bears. This year, it's like, it can go either way. But from what I have seen, I think we're going to lose it. I have this sneaking feeling that this is going to be one of those games where This will be the bottle, you know, the ketchup bottle effect, you know. All the if and when we lose this game, you're gonna see the whole bottle of frustration from the fans, maybe even media, even analysts, pundits, you know, people who are sitting on TV giving their opinions, the guys who knows everything. You're gonna see that if we lose this game against the Bears, oh my lord, be ready for. You're gonna see a lot of fan reactions, and not the good type. I think this is the game where Shanahan has his neck on the line. If he loses this game, I can't see how he can continue. I can see how Jed York, if he loses this game, can still sit there and say, no problem, he's still our coach. He's still gonna go forward as a coach. If we lose this game against the Chicago Bears, forget about it, because you know that the next two games is the Cardinals and the Rams. You know there's guaranteed two more losses. So after this game, if you lose this one, we will be 2-5, and we lose the next two, which means we will 2-7. You're gonna tell me that Kyle Shanahan is still safe with a 2-7? I don't think so. And if we lose these games and we become 2-7, what is going through the player's mind when we meet the Jaguars? And if we lose to the Jaguars, I tell you, right now, Jaguars and the Jets are the two worst teams in the league. If we lose to the Jaguars, that makes us the worst team in the league. And how can he survive that? I don't see Kyle Shanahan survive this season. He shouldn't. I mean, he should not survive this season. He should be fired. But let's look at the game then. I also fear, because this is a game where you have two desperate teams that are willing to maybe play hard to achieve a win. We're going to be running into some injuries here, and I fear that, because when you have a couple of teams that are playing below what is expected, way below, and they're trying to compensate for that and make things up for how they have lost, oh, the injuries are coming fast and thick and thin and everything you can imagine. So if we lose a couple of players to injuries in this game, oh man, who are we going to play? And it depends on what positions we're losing them at, you know. I don't think the offense can be any worse than what it is right now. Well, if we get a couple of injuries to, let's say, Deebo Samuel or Elijah Mitchell, which right now is our whole offense, if those two gets hurt, what do we have then? Not much. Trent Sherfield, Mohamed Sanu, Sermon, Hasty. Ooh. Ooh. No. If you get any injuries on the defensive side of the ball, good night. Good night. I tell you, I fear this game for so many reasons. But I think this is the game that will put Kyle Shanahan on. He should be on the hot seat already, but this is the one game that should put him on the hot seat. Because lose this game, and you are looking at 2 for sure losses in the next 2 upcoming games. No chance in hell he will continue after that. So, 13, 49ers, 13, the Bears, 21. Sad to say it, but we're going to lose this game, guys. I think we're going to lose it.